Man, I don't know about you, but this weekend had that classic NASCAR vibe where something just felt off. On the surface, it looked like a normal race weekend, some chaos, a few mistakes, the usual madness at Bristol. But the deeper you look, the more it feels like there's something bigger happening behind the scenes. Because coming out of this race, there are two major storylines, and they hit completely differently. One of them could seriously change how you look at penalties and inspections this season. The other? It's building a level of tension that might explode in the coming weeks. And if you've been around NASCAR long enough, you already know when stories start stacking like this, it usually means something bigger is brewing. Before we dive in, if you're someone who watches every race, follows every storyline, and actually cares about what's happening beyond the surface, make sure you're locked in with the channel. This is all about real fans and real conversations, and we're pushing toward 100,000 subscribers. Alright, let's get into it. Let's start with what really went down at Bristol Motor Speedway. Because even though everything might look clean on paper, there was a lot happening that most people didn't notice at first. Right after the race, two big names grabbed attention, Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick. Both of their cars were sent to NASCAR's R&D Center in Concord, North Carolina. Now, if you've been watching the sport for a while, you know that can mean a couple of things. Sometimes, it's routine. Other times, it raises eyebrows. Usually, it means NASCAR either spotted something, suspected something, or just wants to take a closer look at teams that have been performing at a high level. And let's be real, both of those drivers have been fast. So naturally, fans started asking questions. But here's the key part. After a full teardown and inspection, NASCAR found nothing wrong. Both cars were completely cleared. No violations, no penalties. Totally clean heading into Kansas. So technically, everything checks out. But that's only part of the story because things were already messy before the race even started. Pre-race inspection has been a problem all season, and Bristol was no exception. 5 teams got hit with penalties: Kyle Larson, Michael McDowell, Ross Chastain, Cole Custer, and Chad Fincham. Most of them lost their car chiefs and pit selection, which at a track like Bristol is a massive disadvantage. Track position there is everything. The only exception was McDowell, who lost his engineer instead. So before the green flag even waved, several teams were already on the back foot. And it didn't stop there. During the race, penalties just kept piling up. Pit road issues became a major factor. Drivers like Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, John Hunter Nemechek, Tyler Reddick, and Brad Keselowski were all caught speeding. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. picked up a safety violation. Michael McDowell had too many crew members over the wall late in the race. Zane Smith got hit for equipment interference. So when you really break it all down, this race was far from clean. And over in the Truck Series, things got even more heated. Christian Eckes made contact with Corey Heim late in the race, sending him straight into the wall. And if you remember their history from the 2024 championship fight, you already know there's tension there. Fans immediately started debating, was it intentional or just hard racing? NASCAR looked into it, talked to Eckes, but in the end, no penalty. So officially, no major punishments came out of Bristol. But when you step back and look at the full picture inspections, penalties, incidents, it definitely feels like NASCAR has been watching teams a lot more closely. And that leads us straight into the second story, because one of those penalties completely changed the outcome for one driver, Tyler Reddick. After the race, he didn't hold back. He made it clear that the speeding penalty on pit road ruined their entire race. And if you understand how Bristol works, you know exactly why. At a track like that, one mistake can bury you and there's almost no way to recover. Before that penalty, he had a seriously fast car. He was running right up near the front, looking like a real contender. Then that one moment changed everything. After serving the penalty, he dropped deep into the field, lost all his track position, and got trapped in traffic. And at a place like Bristol, that's basically a nightmare. Once you're back there, you lose your rhythm, you lose clean air, and just like that, you're out of the fight. But what really made this situation stand out is what he said after the race. Tyler Reddick didn't just talk about the penalty, he pointed at the bigger picture. With 4 wins in the last 7 races, he feels like his team, 23XI Racing, is under a microscope right now. According to him, their car keeps getting pulled for deeper inspections week after week. And he didn't deny that NASCAR is doing its job, but at the same time, he made it clear it's starting to feel like a lot. He even hinted at something fans always debate when a team gets hot. When they start winning consistently, the spotlight gets brighter, and sometimes, it feels like the system is trying to keep things balanced. That's a bold statement. And here's what makes it even more interesting after Bristol. His car was sent to the R&D center again, and once again, it came back completely clean. No issues, no violations, nothing. So officially, everything checks out. But from a driver's perspective, you can understand where that frustration comes from. When you've got momentum, when you're winning races, and then you're dealing with penalties on one side and constant inspections on the other, it starts to feel like everything is stacking against you, even if technically it's all fair. And now, this adds a whole new layer to the championship picture. Because Reddick isn't just fast anymore, he's becoming one of the biggest storylines in NASCAR, both on the track and off it. And for fans, this is exactly the kind of tension that makes a season feel alive. Now the questions start to get real. Is this just standard procedure, or are certain teams getting a little more attention than others? Either way, heading into the next race, all eyes are going to be on that 23XI team. Because Bristol might not have handed out major penalties after the race, but it definitely gave us something bigger to watch moving forward. And honestly, that's what makes this sport so addictive. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think? Is NASCAR just doing its job, or does it feel like some teams are being watched more closely? From my side, here's the honest take. I do think NASCAR is doing its job, but at the same time, it's hard to ignore the pattern. When a driver like Tyler Reddick starts dominating 4 wins in 7 races, you're naturally going to draw more attention. That's not new. Every dominant team in NASCAR history has gone through that phase where officials take a closer look. But here's the twist. Even with all that attention, all those extra inspections, and multiple trips to the R&D center, they keep coming back clean every single time. So from a rules standpoint, 23XI Racing is doing everything right. And when it comes to that speeding penalty at Bristol, that's pretty straightforward too. Pit road speed is black and white. You're either over the limit or you're not. And at Bristol, that kind of mistake is brutal. Still, you can understand Reddick's frustration, because when you combine a race-ruining penalty with constant scrutiny, it starts to feel like everything is piling up even if it's technically fair. And that's what makes this situation so interesting, because both things can be true at the same time. NASCAR can be enforcing the rules correctly, and the driver can still feel that pressure building, week after week. Looking back at the bigger picture from Bristol, it really feels like NASCAR is tightening things up this season. Pre-race inspection issues, pit road penalties, constant monitoring. It's like the margin for error has shrunk more than ever. So, overall, nothing illegal is happening. But the intensity from NASCAR right now is definitely higher, and drivers are starting to feel it. And if Reddick keeps performing at this level, this tension is only going to grow as we get closer to the playoffs. That's where things could really start to boil over. If you've been following all of this, drop your thoughts below. Hit like if you enjoyed the breakdown. And if you're a real NASCAR fan who wants honest, no-nonsense takes, make sure you're subscribed to NASCAR Insider Hub. We're pushing toward 100,000 subscribers. And this is where real fans talk about what's actually happening in the sport. Because, honestly, after everything we just saw, it feels like we're only at the beginning of something bigger. Bristol gave us a race that looked normal on the surface, but underneath, there were inspections, penalties, and drivers clearly feeling the pressure. At the same time, one of the hottest drivers in the sport is starting to question how things are being handled even after being cleared again and again. So now the real question isn't just about what happened, it's about what comes next. Because if this tension keeps building, if inspections keep stacking up, and if drivers keep speaking out, we could be heading into a seriously intense stretch of the season. And as fans, you already know we're going to be watching every single lap of it.